man. Get in the van, man, get in the room, and addicted to the sound like ride. Addicted to the sound like crack in the torso now. It's what it's high. Dirty stank, I won't put it back. If a boy try to think, I won't put it back. And top of the master, when you get it, make a man eat my dog. I'm a deep pan, I don't think car. Trust me, I'm deep with the mic, trust man, on. On, get a long in like them, man, on. Get a long in like them, man, on. Everybody locked in like them, man, on. On, get a long in like them, man, on. Man, a locked in like them, man, on. Everybody locked in like them.
When we got into dubstep, it was a completely different concept. It wasn't about like kids saying, you know, let's hear that filthy shit, that fuck my grandmother's cunt kind of YouTube's fucking talk. You know, it was more about just like stripped back vibes, back to the roots of music, you know, the bass, the snare, that minimal vibe, you know, lots of space in the sound, big walls of bass, you know, and that's what, because we were drum and bass producers for like 7 years, and we love drum and bass today too, but when we first heard dubstep, and in particular that deep meaty sound, you know, when we met Marla in 2007, really inspired us to like do something different and get into that different minimal vibe.
And nowadays, I would say, you know, that starting like 2009, 2010, that whole bro step trend came out. I don't know if you guys have heard that term before, bro step.
You know what, we actually, in New Zealand, we call each other bro. Like, you know, it's like, hey bro, how's it going, bro, blah, blah, blah. So when we heard the term bro step, we're like, that's a weird kind of, you know, it's a weird term.
Is that negative or is that positive?
You know,
Like,
for me, we're bros, and like,
we did our
you know,
first
all our
tour in
friends are our
America
bros.
like a few years ago, and that was the first time we heard that term.
Right.
And people were saying to us, "Oh, you guys are, you know, leading the fucking fight against bro step."
Yeah,
We're
like,
leading the fight. We don't even know
guess
what fucking
what?
bro step is.
We're not about genres or categorizing shit. We're about what we enjoy listening to, what we enjoy making. At the end of the day, like, that's the most important part.
And for us, it's not a negative thing, all that bro step. For us, it's great because it's getting kids into it,
Yeah.
and then if they want to stick around and dig a bit deeper, then they can
Word.
find some deeper shit and roll with the real stuff, you know? So
Gotcha.
for us, it's just like a gateway drug.
But, yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, if kids smoke weed, they're going to take heroin. Well, that's not true, but if kids take bro step, they might end up getting into something else, which is maybe a bit more, I don't know, like, pure. Now is sort of the point where it's a lot of it's about production in terms of there has to be a certain ratio of like sub to treble to like snare has to do this, that, blah blah blah. But what that means is, so all the producers in the scene, they've got to a certain standard, and they're going to start experimenting within that.
Yeah.
Within that sort of those parameters of production, but there's no other limits to what they can do. They can syncopate shit out. They can fuck with it as much as they want. They can be like tunes with like no kick, no snare. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, and the more that we go to parties and see other people play, it's like it's great to see other people doing
The
crazy
more we,
shit, man.
the more we tour and all the different countries we go to, like it's just great hearing the different sounds coming out. And
So
you know,
diverse.
we've toured Europe 5 times, the States 3 times now, and we've seen like some massive changes over the years. You know, like when we first toured the States, you know, so many kids were coming up to us saying, "Can you play some Skrillex?" And we hadn't even fucking heard of Skrillex. We're like, "Who the fuck's this Skrillex guy everyone's talking about?" But like, we've seen big changes in the past 3 years, man, and like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that really appreciate that deeper sound. You know, back to that foundation sound, that dubstep. You know, that's
Where it came from.
It's where it came from. You
Where it's
know, like in
from.
Croydon, back in the day, it was Scream, Benga, Hatcher, fucking
Now,
Marla. Don't want to drop too many
Lofa.
names, but you know, those are the guys that created the sound.
Right. So speaking of foundations, if I can just get back to yours, you both started out in the '90s doing drum and bass.
That's right.
Will you
That's how we
ever?
met.
Will you ever revisit that genre? Would you ever, you know?
Well, let's
give it
not
a
rule
shot?
anything out, you know, like,
No.
we're just going to do what we enjoy, and whatever that might be in the future or now or, you know, whatever, like,
Things are always changing and sounds are always evolving, and we don't want to limit ourselves and say we're only going to ever make this, you know. But at the moment, this is what we enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, it's what we're feeling.
we love it, really.
We love it, man, and like, you know, it's our life now. It's our full-time job. It's what we've done every day for 5 years now, touring and making beats, and we fucking love it. And you know, that might change one day, but for now, we're just, you know, keeping focused and pushing forward.
Take those things away. You throw people in the dark. You scare the shit out of them. No more rules. You'll soon find